I want to start by asking you some seemingly simple questions, which are pretty complex and most often overlooked. And that is, first of all, who am I? Or who are you? But then again, also, what are you? What am I? We know a lot in biology, we know about, molecules and all that, but essentially, it all can go smaller and smaller, and you keep asking, what is this? What are you? You're human, but what is it to be a human? Well, it's made up of lots of atoms and blah blah blah, but what is that made up of? You can always go further and ask, what is that? So essentially, what are you? What is this? What is life? Is this real? And what can be classified as real? What happens when you die? Is there some kind of soul? Is there a God? What kind of God would it be? Like an energy? When I think about these kind of questions, I'm often like looking up at the stars or anything and just reflecting, and I wonder why more people don't stop and actually take time to look up at the sky to get some perspective of their life and the meaning of their life, and what do they think is the meaning of their life. And why have we distanced ourselves from each other? Why is there so much hate and sadness? Why are people sad? Do we have to be sad? Can we simply just be happy by dedicating ourselves to become happy? These are only some of the questions that come up in my mind when I reflect, and mostly when I look up at the night sky and I look at the stars, and I'm literally seeing infinity right in the eye, looking infinity right in the eye, so to say. I'm looking at this universe, and as I do this, I get filled with this wide variety of emotions and thoughts and feelings, and it's really hard to explain this sort of an experience to anyone, because it's as if I'm thinking about everything at once, literally everything, and like emotions such as confusion and frustration, motivation, amazement, fascination, anger, and like all sorts of emotions come up for me. Like it's almost like I'm feeling everything at the same time and I'm thinking everything at the same time. And I feel amazed, I feel fascinated by this world when I look up at the stars, because there's all these small things that are working to keep your body alive. There's complex systems, and most of us don't even know how these things work. Even the most smartest scientists don't know really how shit works. And this is where I get kind of confused of what this really is. What is reality? What is really real? And just all of these small components that are working together. And I also, when I look into infinity, I realize that my life is pretty goddamn fucking insignificant. Like, the universe doesn't give a shit if I fuck up, and in some sense that makes me significant. I can't explain it. I can't really explain anything on what I'm going to say in this video, but I realize that it makes me realize that these small things don't matter. All these personal problems, mental problems don't matter that much. These small things that aren't necessary, they don't matter. Like your negative emotions and all that stuff. So of course they matter, but they're not necessary. And this is where I start to get frustrated over people's ignorance as to not seeing the beauty of life, as to people hating on other people for doing what they want to do, such things as slut shaming and such stupid things, and just the general sadness that surrounds the world, general depression. And I'm not dissing people who are depressed. I'm pretty sure I might have depression myself, or I've had depression, or, you know, I know how it feels, but still, people who don't, you know, take time to work on becoming happy and work on themselves, and they're sort of just wasting their life. And these are just thoughts that I think of, like, in an instant when I'm looking up at the night sky, which is why I really wish more people would take time to go somewhere and just look up at the stars and take some time for themselves to think and reflect. And, you know, reflection, I think, is the key to everything, to success, to anything. Like, most people don't take time to look up at the stars. And this is where I get motivated to share these emotions, these thoughts, and share the beauty of life. Try to get people to see that they're blind. Like, most people are blind, literally. Like, we need to wake up, everybody. I mean, I'm not saying I'm, like, superior, like, because I've had an awakening. I'm saying that we can all have an awakening. We could all get better. We could all stop hating so much. We could all stop being angry and stop wasting life. I mean, we've distanced ourselves from each other. Although we are all going through this life together, we're all suffering very similar hardships, but we're still, you know, hating on each other and dragging each other down. And we need to get together. We all need to somehow see our essential unity. And I think that just looking up at the stars and reflecting and such can help us find that unity, that we're all one, we're all part of this universe, we're all suffering together, as well as not suffering together. But there's no need to make suffering for ourselves on each other.